Hello people, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Okay guys, I've got a post here by Token Relations and I wanted to share this with you just because, I've been talking to you guys about tokenization for a long time now, and one of the things that I always talk to you about, when I mention tokenization, one of the points that I always make about is the property market, right? And how, like, for example, tokenizing a property can make it so much better, for example, in terms of lowering the gates down for people who want to get involved into investing with property, because, you can tokenize the asset and now you don't need to have, a down payment for a mortgage to invest into a property and that kind of thing. And so I just saw this and this guy's Edward, I think he's Nakodi. He works for Red Swan CBRE, I believe it is. Basically, they're like a property company who work with Hedera. They're tokenizing real estate on the Hedera hashgraph. And this guy is like the CEO or something like that of that company. And he's just explained another aspect of what tokenization can do. And I'll be honest with you, this is one that I never even thought of. So it's just another reason to show you what like the hashgraph can bring and what this technology can do and how it is going to, once again, just break down walls and barriers and make it a lot easier for other people. So this is just a 1 minute clip, but they're just talking to Edward on this and just saying, how can you benefit from the whole tokenization aspect of this? Like, what's going to be the benefits to this? What can it bring? And so one of the things that Ed actually mentioned here, he said, well, if you think about like the property market right now, like the transaction volume's down a lot because, property owners are pretty much locked because the interest rates are so high. So they can't really sell the property at their, their desired price. So they're in a bit of a bind right now. But if they can like tokenize some of the liquidity in the asset, then what they can do is pull that liquidity out via the tokenization, and then they could sell off to get some of that liquidity back, and they can use that to, pay off investors, refinance their mortgage, or even use it as a down payment for another property. And I just found that really interesting, because that's just not something that I'd personally thought of at this point, but it is a very valid point, like for people who might need to, they might need some extra cash. Like if you think about the economy right now, we're going down the toilet, right? Like it's just a very hard time in many countries right now. And so if you think about it, if you've got a property at this point and you're thinking like, I need some extra cash, like I'm just struggling, I need some extra money. Well, again, if you could tokenize the asset, you haven't got to think about having to like sell off the property altogether or anything like that. You could just tokenize the asset, pull out the liquidity via that tokenized percentage that you have, and gain the liquidity in that way. And I just thought, that's just another great example of what Hedera can bring and what tokenization can do. Because the one thing that I am trying to show you guys now, because look, the one thing I want to say is like, with how the market is at this point, a lot of people are just believing that crypto is just, it's done, it's a scam, and it's just not going to come back, and the dream is over. I'm going to give you my thoughts on this, right? Look, I can't say where things are going to go in terms of, people manipulating prices and stuff like that, all that kind of stuff, and prices going up, prices going down. The thing that I'll say is crypto isn't going anywhere. Like the types of use cases that you can get out of crypto, the benefits that you can get, it's not going nowhere. Now, I will say this, you have got to be in the right assets, because you might be that you think, okay, I'm invested in this crypto and regulations come through and that crypto ceases to exist. That network can't stand up to the scrutiny, so it's gone. So I'm not saying that, crypto as a whole is here to stay. There are going to be a select few that manage to, have the longevity. But the point I'm trying to make is it's not like crypto in general, in terms of the cryptos that actually can do something, they're not going to be over. Like the value is going to come. I did a video not so long ago, and it was a more XRP focused video, and there's just one thing that I wanted to add on to that, because I felt like the way I came across in the video, it may have sounded a bit like too negative. And I was basically talking about how, like, if the crypto market is manipulated, then a lot of people are not going to want to come back, and they're not going to want to invest in stuff because they're going to be worried that if it's manipulated, they can't win. When I was talking about that, I just want to be clear. I'm talking more like traders and stuff like that, because traders do help make bull runs. That's what you've got to understand. So when I was talking about this, I was talking more very short term price action. I think long term, the value is going to come, but I was just worried about the manipulation of how it could be a staggered process rather than the usual bull runs we have where you have this moment come in, you get your huge growth and then it's done. Is a thing where they're going to try and manipulate the markets to make it a much more, staggered process where you're not getting these huge multiplier effects that you used to have. You have to wait a lot longer for this stuff to happen, and it's going to happen over a much longer period of time, more like the stock market, for example, right? But I do believe value will come to these chains, because when you look at this type of stuff that you can get from these technologies, like these networks like Hedera, people are going to value this. They are going to value it because it's going to break down walls for so many people. It's going to give a lot more people access to things that they didn't used to have access to. It's going to completely change industries. Like crypto, to me, is kind of like AI, right? You know how we're all aware that AI is going to come over and like take a lot of jobs in the long term. That's pretty evident at this point. Crypto is going to change the landscape of things as well in that regard. Like I'm not saying it's going to take people's jobs, but what I'm saying is, many industries like traditional finance and stuff like that, they're going to get upgraded. They're going to get changed. And so, for me, like what I will say is like, I may be uncertain about whether we're in a bull run now and how it's going to pan out and stuff value wise, but I still believe that the right cryptos are going to go up in value over time because they have value to them, that they're valuable assets because they'll be able to do things that people deem valuable. Right. So the benefits of using the hash graph, I feel that people and institutions and companies and governments will look at it as a valuable asset. And so I'm just going to clear that up. Yes, I was a bit uncertain about how the market is, and I still am. I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to backtrack on that. But what I am saying is that long term, the value is going to come. I just can't tell you how long it's going to take, and I can't tell you what type of value number it's going to get to, because the truth is nobody can. But I look at things like this, like what tokenization can do, and the partnerships that Hedera have, and all the content I keep showing you guys about use cases and stuff like that. And it's like, this is stuff that big governments and institutions are using to change the way they do things. They're using crypto. They're not saying, hey, we don't want to touch it, we're not bothered about it, we don't believe in it. No, they're doing trials now. It's at that point. We know that there's legislation that's going to come through for crypto. So it shows you there's a future there. There is for the right cryptos. There's a future there. Personally, I believe Hedera is going to be one of them that has a bright, long future. That's my opinion. So we're just waiting to see that to come to fruition. And so when I look at things like that, once again, how with tokenization, it can help you have access to capital that you wouldn't have originally been able to do. What kind of property owner wouldn't want to do that? Especially people who've got like big portfolios. Imagine people who've got big portfolios in this current climate who just wouldn't be able to have access to money because of the interest rates and the climate of the market. Well, now they have that chance. They can pull liquidity out via equity, like tokenizing a bit of the equity. Like, that's incredible. That is going to be valuable to people, and it's going to be valuable to just the general people, not just, people with big portfolios, because it could just help people on a short-term basis who just need a bit of extra money, because the times are hard in the economy. Like, it's gathering so many opportunities. Or someone who wants to build up their portfolio, like it could be that they just take out that extra bit of equity and use it as a down payment for another property. So it's really breaking down walls here. And I just think like this is the stuff that is going to make, Hedera a valuable asset. So overall, yes, I will say, like, I don't know where this market's going. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if we're still in a bull run or if we're in a bear market. But what I do know is that we can clearly see that this crypto technology, and Hedera specifically, it is being adopted. It's being utilized. There's people thinking of use cases for the technology. And so while that continues to happen, it's going to continue to have a purpose, and people are going to deem that valuable because it's useful for them. Like, this is technology that for some people are literally changing their lives. There'll be people who'll be able to build careers off of this technology. Like, there's people on YouTube who, they're influencers, like they're literally making a career just talking about, all this stuff. So this just shows you how big of an opportunity this can be. So to me, it's quite clear. Like, I look at things like this, and this is something I hadn't even thought of, which is why I wanted to share it with you guys, because I do talk about tokenization quite a lot, and that's because I do think it's one of the bigger use cases. I think this will be one of the more obvious use cases that people use for crypto technology. I think it'll be one of the more popular ones, because as Dr. Leemon Baird said, like, everything of value will be tokenized. But like, even in ways that I'm not thinking about, and that's the other part I just wanted to discuss here, is that, like, yes, there's going to be things that I've not thought of, but that's going to be for a lot of people too. There's going to be, use cases that's not yet got here that will be coming through crypto technology. So if you think about the internet, the internet has evolved over time, and now you can do so much more things with it than, what you originally could do. If you think about AI is born from the internet. It runs online. So if you think about that, that's taken how many years for internet to get to AI? So what could crypto do in 10, 20, 30 years, for example? What new things could they think of that they could use crypto technology for down the line with that as well? Do you see what I mean? Like, there could be a whole new idea of things that's going on, and new ways that crypto is being utilized to change things and better the world. So this is what I'm saying is, like, even little things that I'm not thinking of, other people are. And even if it's things that me or other people haven't thought of, there's still more time for new things and new ideas to come through. So this is only going to continue to evolve. That's what will happen. So I just found this really interesting. I thought it was worth sharing just to show you guys more of the benefits of like tokenization. And once again, like, there's an influencer who I covered, James Janney, who was talking about, crypto and saying how tokenization wouldn't really be a solution to anything. It's just digitizing a problem. I don't see that for tokenization. Like, I can already see huge benefits that tokenizing stuff would do. So I have to disagree with that, and this is why I'm showing you these kinds of things, because it's giving you access to money that people wouldn't have been able to do before, and it's also lowering the barrier to entry. So, like, you can now have the average person being able to put a lower amount of money in, but still be able to be an investor in a property. Like these are huge things that wouldn't have been possible without tokenization. So you're not just digitizing a problem, because you're now actually expanding people being able to get into property. That's a huge thing. And you make it more easier for people who may have a property but need, a chance to get equity. You're giving them a solution for that problem. So that's huge. That's huge. And that's something that a lot of people will be happy about. So yeah, I just thought I'd share this, but great stuff to see here. And I look forward to seeing more things of what this technology will bring in the future, because I just think there's going to be a lot more of this kind of stuff happening, and it'll only continue to evolve like the internet did. So it's just going to improve on that, in my personal opinion. And I think Hedera will be one of the better networks out there long term. That's my opinion. Thank you very much for watching this. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And hit that bell. Take care.